Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, SunshinehazeCo. This video is for Gemini, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, and Gemini Rising. So before I get started, if you feel like what I'm saying in the video is not resonating with you, go on and check out your moon and or rising sign, which I do have linked down below, y'all. And we are back. I'm sorry I didn't get those lunar cycle tarot forecasts out for you for the Taurus season. I tried really hard, but life comes at you fast, right? But we're back in business. Yeah, so this is for the Gemini lunar cycle. This is for your lunar cycle. Happy birthday, by the way. So we were talking beginning of June through the beginning of July. This is going to be the typical 4-card spread, looking at the energy, any crossing energies or obstacles you might be facing. And then because we're talking about y'all's energy, a card looking at where y'all just need to let life lead you during this time. And then as always, a quick little soul message, something extra for you to take away with you from the spread, okay? And I'm not even going to set myself up for failure. I'm going to grab something to drink. Sorry, y'all. I could also use some chapstick, but I don't know where that's at right now. So I will take that L. Okay, anyways. So let's just go on and get started. First card that you guys have coming up in your spread is Psychic. And this is a card. First, I want to talk a little bit about the numerology. It's 48, which breaks down to 12, which breaks down to 3. So right off bat, you guys coming into your year, this being the start of a new year for y'all, and this being a 3 universal year, I think that this is also an indicator of, okay, Gemini, you are realigning with the self. You're realigning with what's going on around you as well. You're basically just coming into alignment all over the place. But for you guys, this card being in this position has a couple of messages. The first one, I think, as I was saying, talking about alignment, I feel like Gemini, everything that is transpiring around you or happening around you or happening even within your heads, y'all know I don't believe in coincidence. So I believe everything happens in divine timing as it should. So I would say for you guys, a lot of synchronistic things are going to be popping off. I feel like numerology is going to be very intense. I feel like you might be getting a lot of animal messages. I feel like you might be putting 2 and 2 together or finding connections in a lot of different situations, and your intuition is going to be really popping during this time. So I think it's going to be very important for y'all Geminis or for y'all with those Gemini placements to really pay attention to what's going on around you, and also, as y'all are air signs, really pay attention to the things that you're thinking and keep in mind that the things that you think are what you manifest. So the psychic energy kind of comes up to say that you guys will know what's about to go down, what's about to happen, how things are going to play out. But it's not because you're magic, not to say that you're not, but this is to say, okay, this is happening because you guys during this time, the way that you're thinking, you really have the ability, especially because you're coming into alignment, you really have the ability to physically manifest the things that you'd like to see happening. And what better time to do it than at the start of your year? I say this to every sign when it's their birth time, not their birth time, when it's their season, that you want to start off your year the way you'd like to see it play out. So this is good energy coming in. This tells me that for you guys, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are intending, whatever you are feeling, you're really bringing that energy in to build this foundation for this next year or this next cycle for yourself, okay? Another message that I have with this card, it being the psychic card, is I was talking about paying attention to your intuition. Really trust your gut during this time. Gemini, if you feel like something is off, something is off. If you feel like something is good, something is good. If you feel like something is bad, something is bad. If you feel like something needs a little work, something needs a little work. Everything happening for you during this time, although you are air, and I did tell you to tap into your air a little bit, I really want you guys to be going based off of what you feel during this next lunar cycle. And keep in mind that we're going into the Cancer lunar cycle next, so you want that to kind of adhere to your intuition coming from this lunar cycle, if that makes sense. So pop-in energy that you guys are going to be tapping into during this lunar cycle, coming into your year, like I said, just really coming back into alignment with the self and also with what's going on around you, okay? The next card that I have coming up for y'all is in the position of what could be a crossing energy or any obstacles that you might be facing during this time. And you've got Azaka, and that is a 10 card. It's an air swords element. So this is actually one of my favorite cards from this deck. This is a card of really having everything together, being optimistic, understanding everything that you need, understanding that what the work that you've done and understanding how that work is going to play out. But this is in a crossing position, and it's crossing the psychic energy. So this does tell me, especially because it's your element, Gemini, that, and this happens for everybody, when we're moving away from one cycle into the next, we have to get rid of certain things. We have to let go of certain people. We have to move away from certain situations. We have to empty our bags. You don't want to carry baggage from one situation or one chapter along with you into the next, right? So this tells me that for you guys, Gemini, you're in this position to where, okay, you're, especially because it's your new year, you're looking back, you're reflecting, and you're saying, okay, this has transpired, this has transpired, and this is transpired. And because y'all are air, I feel like you understand the things that you need to move away from. You understand the things that you no longer need to be dealing with, the people that you need to cut off, the cords that you need to cut, the things that you need to clear out, things you need to work through. But at the same time, you may have some sort of emotional investment. You may have some sort of attachment, and you're kind of in this space to where you're like, well, I don't want to cut these ties. I don't want to end this. I don't want to stop doing this just because I'm coming into a new chapter. But Gemini, you have got to understand that you cannot move forward in the way that you're meant to if you are still hanging on to things that you're no longer supposed to be hanging on to. So this is a crossing position for you, and I talk about this all the time. We can turn these cards into upright positions. So very important for y'all Geminis during this during y'all's lunar cycle to actually take action and pay attention to the things that you know no longer serve you, and instead of keeping yourself in those positions, start to move yourself out of them. Understand that everything again happens in divine timing in the way that it should. So you won't find yourself needing to move away from a situation unless that's what's supposed to be happening. And if that's the message that you're getting, especially with this psychic card, you need to go on and trust your gut and follow your heart and let your intuition guide you, because you're not going to be able to turn this into an upright position unless you're following your intuition, paying attention to what, hey, that little dog is nowhere close to us. Calm down, mama. Need to be following your intuition in order for you to turn this card into an upright position. But as you know the things that need to be released, you need to be willing and able to actually move forward. Okay, Gemini? All right, the next card that you have coming up is in the position of your energy, and this is where do you need to let life lead you during this next month. And you've got Legba La Flambeau, and this is a fire card, 6 of fire, 6 of wands. So I like that this card is popping up here, because this is a card of taking action and doing the things that need to be done in your life, but also understanding where you need to make moves, and understanding that you don't need, not to say you don't need support, but understanding that it's nobody's business or nobody's responsibility but your own to get the shit done that you need to get done. And this is a general reading, but I'm going to throw out a couple examples here. Say if you're in a relationship and you're starting to feel like, okay, I've gotten what I need from this, I do feel like it's time for me to move on. It's not up to the other person to break shit off if you're the one feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? If you're at a job and you want a promotion and you know the things that are needed for a promotion, you've been told this is what I need to see from you in order for me to promote you, you can't depend on your supervisor or your CEO or your higher up to just hand you something. You have to put in the work, Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you have a certain habit and you're like, okay, diet, for instance, say you're like, okay, I want to tone up a little bit. You can't expect to tone up if you keep eating cookies and ice cream and chips and you're not doing any kind of work. Keep eating the cookies and ice cream and chips. I'm not going to tell y'all to stop doing that, but what toning up are you going to see? What results are you going to see if you're not at least trying to hit some squats and some crunches along the way? You know what I'm saying? So this card coming up here is saying, okay, Gemini, you know what you need, you know what you want. These things are coming in for you. You understand. And even if you're in those situations and they just need to shift, you know the type of shift that you want to see. You can't depend on anybody else but yourself to make that happen. And this card also tells me that you need to be mindful of the things that may have been compromising the work that you've done. I just got that message. I don't know who that is for. That was a little off of what I was saying, but that was for somebody. I hope that resonated with one of y'all. But yeah, Gemini, so for you guys during this next month, although this is an air lunar cycle, this is your lunar cycle, so this is a cycle for you to tap into and really harness your energy and do whatever work is needed. So you have the air here that you turn upright, and off of that air you come into this compatible fire energy, and you do the work that needs to be done based off of what you know, okay, with that psychic energy card. All right, Gemini, last card that you have coming up in your spread, and I got a new deck, y'all. The sacred or the secret language of color or something like that. I don't know. It's all linked down below. But this is your soul message. And the message is the color amber, which is also the number 15. So briefly talking about the numerology, 1 and 5, which is new chapters, new phases, new ideologies. And 5 is change and transformation and adaptability. Breaking down into 6, which is the perfect number, which is harmony and bringing things together and having a solid foundation. And this is awaken your creativity. So Gemini, 2 messages there. Literally, if you are a creative individual, this is a time for you to really start tapping into your energy and start doing some work based off of the ideas that you have. However, I think the message here coming after all of this is, okay, you see, you understand, you know what's coming in, right? You know the work that you've done. And you understand what you need to move past. You see how you need to do work. You understand that you need to do work. How do you do it? I think this is a card with the message of innovation, and it's not just literally tied to literal creativity. I think this amber card is saying, okay, you might need to get a little creative, come up with some new ideas. I don't know why I want to sing the Rick and Morty song. Get swifty, get swifty, whatever the fuck that means. Come up with some new stuff. Think about some new ways, some new avenues to take you to wherever it is that you feel like you need to be or that you feel like you're supposed to be, Gemini. Whatever that may be, with that being said, you have good energy coming in for you. I think it's just important for you to remember, Gemini, that there are things that you do have to move away from. And that doesn't mean that, and let me not just say that. There are things that you either need to move away from or that you need to shift the energy around. And you're going to have to do the work to get yourself there, but you completely understand and you completely know what those things are. And you need to do that work to bring yourself into alignment. This is your new year. You want your new year to be set. You want it to be lit. You want it to be smooth sailing, right? So do the work, okay? Figure out ways to do the work. Figure out what you need to let go of, and just understand that everything, all the messages you're getting, you need to pay very close attention to. All right, Gemini, happy birthday again. That is your reading. If you feel like you need a personal reading or some clarification, feel free to drop a comment or book one with me through my Etsy shop. You can also send me an email. We are wrapping up the spring season. You guys in this spring season, so I do still have those vernal equinox tarot forecasts up if you guys would like to take a look at those for some reflection or just to catch the last portion of the spring for yourselves. And also, I do have a video up on the new moon in Gemini, this Gemini lunar cycle, and the energies that we'll be working with collectively. So go on and check those out. I've got all of that shit linked down below in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all next time.